Okay, people, we are Biology of Kundalini-ing it again today. We are on page 116. Evolution is not an illness. So thanks for following along, learning about the biology of an awakening process. I think this is so important that we discuss this and read this together, and that those of you who are watching, that you also share this information with those in your life, so that more people can understand and be in tune with this very normal process that we are going through, but we are collectively going through it. So let's get started. She says, personally, I think there is grave danger in treating the symptoms of Kundalini arousal with psychiatric drugs. She said this before. And I agree, and other forms of suppression such as stodgy food. Since the metamorphic symptoms represent a dismantling, purification, and strengthening at work, it is these functions that should be supported and encouraged. Thus, our intent must be to go into and work with the process, rather than fight it in effort to remain bound to the pupil body-mind. Understanding the psychobiology of the transformation is vital to navigating the storms of this greatest of upheavals. Kundalini is the raising of the energy of the body in an alchemical process of spiritual emergence of the higher self. The medical world do not yet know what they are dealing with in Kundalini. Let's be real. They do not know that a hyperactivated sympathetic is going to eventually flip into a hyperactivated parasympathetic. They don't know that. And that we need soothing, reassuring conditions, not drugs. Allopathic medicine is not scientific. For if they were truly scientific, they wouldn't be giving magic bullet cures to complex degenerative conditions associated with our human abusage of the earth and the life principle. Ooh, what a statement. The cycles must be left alone to take us through our heights and depths. If we get tranquilized during an up phase, then it will just flatten the energy extremes and dull the mind. So we will not get any benefit from the alchemy, but instead will be spiritually impaired instead. And I've told you an example of that, and I have seen this on multiple occasions, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, especially when I'm working with someone and their family does not agree, does not understand, and they ask me to step away because they think their family member needs to be medicated, and they're not understanding. This is how not widely known this is. It hurts my heart. So I need to educate. We need to get educated. Kundalini can take us to the limits of our energetic and emotional endurance. This is as it is supposed to be. If tranquilizers are used instead of allowing the energy to do its cleansing and restructuring, then chances are we will just go into an extended depression instead of a spiritual awakening. The same goes for antidepressants and anesthetics as well. However, there might be the occasion where these things might be necessary in an emergency. And, it's hard to determine when the emergency is. It's really like, how much can you handle? How much can you help support? How much can you, as an outsider person, hold space for? What's considered an emergency? The medical world also needs to be familiar with the water cure doctor, I call him Dr. Batman because his last name is so hard to say. But he is the body's many cries for water guy, understanding the hydration and blood pressure, along with the understanding that the high blood pressure of sympathetic activation does not need to be medicated, nor does the low blood pressure when things shift over to parasympathetic dominance. So it's a lot of things we see are associated with dehydration, especially with all the kinds of different drinks people drink these days. Medically messing around with current symptoms without considering the cyclical nature of Kundalini will simply abort any growth potential inherent in the metamorphic process. Imagine trying to stop a chrysalis from dissolving because you are ignorant of the butterfly about to be created. Think about it. That is what medical meddling is. And that is why we see that misprescribed medications or medical issues are actually one of the #1 causes of death in this country. We must understand the hyperbolic nature of Kundalini and support all phases in the fullness of their process rather than trying to counteract each extreme to bring it back to normal physiology, and so prevent the butterfly from forming altogether. We just have to understand what's going on. Digestion takes the most amount of energy of any activity. The reason we overeat is because we have not planned our life and directed our energy toward achievable goals. Thus, we eat our energy rather than send it forth in self-development and achievement. If we are not moving forward, we tend to hold ourselves back. There is a much better way of working with the symptoms than snuffing them out by diverting energy to digestion. Since the difficult symptoms we experience are due to Kundalini working its way through deformations, it doesn't make sense to reduce the fire. Instead, as these blockages arise, we should be aiding the fire in its work through the miasms. For example, if angst, like choking in the narrows, occurs in the throat, then toning and mantra and singing and humming repeatedly should relieve the pain and pressure. Clarifying one's truth and relationships should be done at this time. Writing poems from each of the chakras might help the flow of energy through the body. Meditation should be shifted from third eye to crown chakra. Gestalt and all forms of artistic expression will help the throat clear. Spontaneous music, drumming, and dance are especially helpful in clearing the throat chakra. And as with any Kundalini difficulty, the digestive system should be thoroughly cleansed whenever an obstinate symptom arises. A juice fast of moderate duration is an ideal first line of approach in dealing with any miasm that is up for us. And I highly recommend Dr. Christopher's 3-day juice fast. It's very, very simple. You basically are alternating between 8 ounces of distilled water and 8 ounces of either apple, carrot, or grape juice every 30 minutes all day, starting the day with 16 ounces of prune juice and a tablespoon of olive oil for lubricating the gallbladder duct. It keeps you full all day, it cleanses you out. It's a really good, simple fast. Fasting will generally increase metamorphosis and speed evolution, but do not water fast during Kundalini, for the liver needs all the glutathione it can get. So the juice fasting is important. There are solutions to every problem, whether it be excessive energy, headaches, heat, confusion, radical heart pressure, pain, or numbness in the tissues. Just saying there's solutions to all these without going to the doctor. Generally, the line of approach for difficulty should be something like this. Number 1, inquire internally as to the nature of the problem. I wonder what's going on here. I wonder what my body is trying to tell me. Number 2, stop bad habits. You know what those are for you. Those are samskaras. Number 3, detox and juice fast. Number 4, increase energy and breathing. Number 5, calm and soothe energy, toning, yoga, relaxation. Yoga Nidra is great for this. I have some Yoga Nidra tracks in my yoga meditation section. Strengthen tissues nutritionally. Okay, some of the nutritional supplements we've mentioned before, important. Number 7, exercise tissues physically. Number 8, use light, sound, touch, vibration, nature, and inquiry meditation. Number 9, focus, concentrate, refine, strengthen use of the area. Okay, so whatever area of the body that's speaking to you, focus on it, concentrate on it. Wherever your attention goes, there is where the energy will go, where prana will go. And integrate the part more fully into the whole. So if your stomach is having problems, you can be like, what am I not digesting? It doesn't just have to be food. You can think, what thoughts am I not digesting? What ideas am I not digesting? What happenings that are going on that I'm not digesting? Okay, if I'm not digesting them, what are they? What part of those? What is it trying to teach me? What's the value of this? Okay, I can take some things to support my digestion. I can do deep belly breathing. I can do relaxation. I can focus on my belly as I deep breathe and bring attention and energy there. I can, again, like finding the value as to why something's there is to help you integrate it. So if you're like, well, I'm not really liking how so-and-so is acting, and okay, but what's the value of them acting that way? Oh, we might say there's no value at all. But really you could say, well, it's making me keep to myself, or it's making me look for other friends, or it's making me meditate more, or it's causing me to have to find calmness in me. Okay, whatever it is, or it's making me experience my anger, whatever it is. When we find the benefit of the problem that we're not digesting, or in whatever case that it is, then we love that part of ourselves too. Okay, the part of me that wasn't digging on this, how I felt during this interaction, I'm going to love that part of me, integrate that part fully. She goes on to say, we don't discard the lower as we ascend Maslow's pyramid. As we ascend, there is a refinement of the lower energy. So I always say, like, we're taking everything with us. We're not leaving anything behind. Even in a release process, you're not leaving that thing behind. You're just unsticking the energy. You're allowing the energy to move and find its proper locale in your field. Because an experience, if you process it all the way through, will change you. So if you didn't process it all the way through and you have trauma and it's stuck and you go to do release, like I do emotion code work, if you go to release it, it's actually not leaving you. It's recalibrating. So now you can love that part of you that had that trapped emotion, and that helps you integrate. Then the self-actualization body is different than the pupil body. One needs less food of a higher quality after metamorphosis has progressed. Also consider that sex, relationships, work, nature appreciation, child rearing, dharma, muse, and everything is refined and changes as we move up the pyramid. It's a matter of quality, not quantity. The quality or depth of our world changes as we ascend. And that's why you might be going from eating like regular grocery store food, or, you know, if you had to be at the level where you're eating at the food bank or something, as you ascend and awaken, you begin to shop at different stores, like a natural health food store. And then you begin to only buy like the highest quality food. And you realize you actually need less of the higher quality food to satiate you than you did when you were eating like all the free stuff, right? You could stuff your face with low quality food and it's not going to do anything. It's just going to weigh you down. But when you're in a more self-realized state, less is more. Less is always more. Because it's the particular frequencies you need. It's just those particular sweet bites. You just need the one bite instead of the whole bar of the chocolate bar that's shitty. You just need the one piece of the raw chocolate. Instead, you just need the one sip of the kombucha rather than the 6-pack of beer, because you're refining your consciousness and you're refining your all of your taste buds. Your multi-sensual perception is heightened, so you need less of things and you need higher quality of things and of everything, your relationships too. If the resistant ego, addictive substance suppression of the liver is lifted, the liver awakens to its full function. Then the right side of the body and the right brain comes out in its subservience and latency. Normally in this culture, our liver and right brain are greatly repressed in order that we may avoid our ESP, truth, creativity, emotion, and intuition. Interesting. Our liver and right brain are repressed. The lifting of this repression would be tangibly felt as an energy bliss awareness rising through the right side of the body. A sign that this transformation is occurring would be the radical relaxation of the right neck and shoulder. with obvious changes to the personality and adaptive functioning, including increased emotion and psychic abilities. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So evolution is not an illness. As it's coming on, we just want to deal with the things as they come up. We want to have high quality foods and friendships and partnerships and relationships with our children, and our soul purpose refines, right? Rather than going and having to do all this work for somebody else, we begin to find our soul purpose and work the way that we are meant to work. And everything is streamlined as we're accessing higher levels of consciousness. So it's not an illness, but it can show up like symptoms that might be concerning if you don't know what they are for yourself or someone in your life. So we're learning together what these things are. I would encourage you to go get this book, Biology of Kundalini by Jana Dixon, Exploring the Fire of Life. You can also read it on lulu.com for free, or go to her website, thebiologyofkundalini.com. You can also find me at blissinthehouse.com if you would like to have a session, if you would like to have a reading, if you would like to read your energy field, if you would like personalized yoga, mindfulness practices that are specialized to what you are going through, nutritional support and so forth. I'm here for you. I've been going through this awakening journey for over 2 decades. It never ends, but it does get easier the more you recognize what's going on and you feed yourself the things you need, and you rest when you need to rest, and you emote when you need to emote, and you just find a way to be more resilient. So I'm here for you. Thank you for joining me here on this channel. If you like this video, please hit the like, subscribe, share, and then you'll know when we're doing another video. Okay, we'll see you next time.